Hello, everybody, and welcome to Time Management, Becoming an Effective Student. My name is Kevin Johnson, and I'm an executive coordinator with Access ASU. I've been with Arizona State University for a little over 2 years. Access ASU is dedicated to increasing access to higher education and preparing Arizona students for success through family engagement, strategic K-12 education, and community partnerships. Our programs and initiatives are designed to ensure all Arizona students graduate high school ready to thrive in college and the 21st century workforce. Right now, I ask that everyone grab a piece of paper and pencil or something to write with, as we'll be taking notes, and we'll have some activities planned for you today. Our first activity is called Lucky Break. Imagine your class went in together on a lottery ticket and ended up having the winning ticket. After taxes, you each won $86,400. This money can be used for any expense: paying bills, tuition, gifts, buying clothes, buying shoes, whatever you'd like. The only thing is, if you don't spend all the money, it'll be returned to the lottery and no one else can use it. Give yourself about 3 to 5 minutes on your paper and think about how you would spend $86,400. Pause this video and come back when you're done. So how did you choose to spend it, and why did you choose to spend it the way you did? Every day, we each have 86,400 seconds to spend. Like your money, the way you spend your time should be based on what matters most to you. Prioritizing your goals, values, and interests are all areas to think about when finding a way how to balance your time. So for our discussion today, we're going to talk about what is time management and why is it important, what strategies are you using to manage your time, and who or what is taking your time. We'll call these things time bandits. So how are you currently spending your time? Has anyone ever tracked how they spend their time down to every minute of the day, and what might this look like? Also think about why it's important to learn how to manage your time. Successful people manage their time in different ways. Some use planners, phones, sticky notes, lists, emails, the list goes on. So think about the type of student you are and what time management tools you will be most successful using. Some people may be planners, some people may be their phones, etc., etc. I also want you to think about and write down some time bandits or things that take up your time. This could be many different things: friends, cell phones, technology, social media, video games, YouTube, Netflix. You can see that there are a lot of them. So explore how time escapes you, and when we focus on our time bandits, provide some examples and some solutions. So an example would be, have you ever taken out your phone to respond to a text message? The next thing you know, it's been an hour and you're playing video games on your phone or you're watching YouTube videos, and you ask yourself, where did the time go? Well, think about that and think about a solution. A solution may be to put a timer on your phone, maybe 10, 15 minutes. That way, once the timer goes off, you know you've spent 10 or 15 minutes on your phone, and maybe you should put it down and focus your time somewhere else. It's really important that at the beginning and end of each day, you take some time for reflection and to think about, how did you spend your time and how will you spend your time? And are you being honest with yourself and spending your time most valuably? So time management is how you organize and plan your activities and how long you spend on each specific activity. Effective time management can be learned. This does not happen overnight. You will not master this overnight. So be patient with yourself and keep in mind that this takes practice. It's really beneficial for students because your success in school depends on your use of time. And so our goal today will be to have you in control of your own time. And a tool that we use to practice that is keeping in mind that we all have 24 hours in our day. So breaking that down, the 24 hours in each day, approximately we have 8 for sleeping, 8 for school, and the other 8 are filled with other activities. Think about it. Homework, extracurricular activities, socializing with friends, sports, student government, even eating. So think about how we're going to spend our time, and we'll even have an activity later on. Some common mistakes and solutions to help you on the right track and help you practicing good time management skills are as follows. A very common mistake is number one, not using a time management tool. I talked about it a little earlier. Some people will have tools that work for them and some not. Don't be discouraged if you try a calendar and it doesn't work for you. It may work for someone else, it may work for you, but if it doesn't, don't get discouraged and don't think that you can't practice good time management. Just try something else, try a different time management tool, and you'll find that one will eventually stick. It's just really important to keep practicing. Number two, procrastination. Although it sounds simple, the solution is to prioritize your due dates. And this is really good for not just schoolwork, but things in your personal life. So if Sunday is laundry day, make sure that you give yourself enough time to do laundry and make sure you give yourself enough time to do other things, maybe schoolwork, studying, different things like that. Number three, overcommitment. Although it may be difficult at first, a good solution is every now and then just to say no once in a while. So if friends or family, somebody invites you, let's say to the movies, but you know you have a school assignment, a test, or something to study for, you can just let them know, hey, right now might not be a good time, but later on, I'll be able to make it to the movie. And make sure that you give yourself enough time to study and focus on you. Another common mistake is disorganization. An easy solution is binders, dividers, even separate notebooks. Although it sounds easy, this is a really good way to practice your time management, and this will really save you a lot of time in the future. And number five, distractions. Earlier, we talked about eliminating your time bandits, but it's also really important to find a space where you can't be distracted and you can focus on the work that you need to. So for our second activity, where does the time go? I'll show you what that looks like. So you can see that this is a self-assessment exercise, and you can see that we multiply numbers by either 7 or 5. 7 is for 7 days of the week. For example, number of hours of sleep each night. And then you can see some are multiplied by 5. Those are for items that you do 5 times a week. For example, school. So look at these examples. Look at what we're multiplying and total at the bottom. So give yourself some time, pause this page and use this slide as a reference. And be honest with yourself and give yourself the correct number of hours that you spend each night sleeping, grooming, travel time to and from school, so on and so forth. Once you're done, combine your total. After that, on the left-hand side, subtract that total from 168 hours in a week. That will let you know how much time you have left to study. A lot of times we think we have more time than we actually do, and this will be a really good way to see how much time you're spending doing other activities and how much time you have left to study. Looking into that, we're going to compare time in high school versus time in college. In high school, you can see the first bullet point is 30 to 35 hours per week of class time, where in college, it's 12 to 15 hours per week. The second bullet point, 15 to 17 hours per week of study time, versus in college, 24 to 30 hours per week of study time. So you can see how they're almost switched. You can see that high school is mostly in-class learning and college is mostly out-of-class learning. That's why it's really important to practice and get better at these time management skills now, because in college, a lot of the work is spent outside of the classroom studying. So being on top of your time and your schedule will really help you out in the long run. In college, it is helpful to follow the 2 to 3 hours per hour rule of thumb. This means for every hour that you spend in the classroom in college, you should be spending 2 to 3 hours outside of the classroom studying. Let's look at this sample college schedule for a student. It's broken down Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. So you can see how this college schedule is different from a high school schedule, where classes are not every day of the week, but it looks like every other day. And you can see how there's big gaps in between. Let's look at that Wednesday, right in the middle. The student has dance early in the morning and biology in the afternoon. So there's a pretty big gap in there. So the student working on their time management skills would say, hey, with that big time gap, how can I be really effective with my time? So the student put off homework off campus. There are other gaps where a student didn't put anything, maybe because they know that that time is for them. Maybe they need to eat, walk to class, de-stress, but it's also important to put time down on when you would be most effective studying and make sure that you block that time off. You can see that the student also put personal activities on their calendar, on their schedule, for example, dinner with roommates, rec basketball club meetings, band practice, things like that. This is an easy exercise. This is something easy that you can practice, but will really help you in nailing down what items you have to do and when you should do them. So to debrief on what we talked about today and some things that I want you to reflect on with your note paper is how can you reorganize your time? How are you spending it? We talked about some activities. We talked about some time bandits. So be honest with yourself and think about what have you learned about yourself? What are you already doing well? And what can you improve upon? Don't be too harsh on yourself. Again, if this is your first time practicing time management, focus on the positives. What are you doing well and how can you improve on that? So our goal and action plan is to identify one mistake you often make and what solution you are going to use to change it. Again, if this is your first time, be honest with yourself, but don't get down on yourself. Maybe a goal would be trying a planner, buying a calendar, or maybe just putting a timer on your phone when you're on Netflix or YouTube, different things like that. So thank you for listening to our presentation today. We hope that you learned a lot. We hope that you practice these time management skills. Feel free to contact Access ASU with the information down below, and feel free to connect with us on social media. And remember, with time management, practice makes perfect. Thank you.